do a few things. So Emre is here. Jack, you're back. Yes, I am back. I've been making a few videos recently, so check out the channel after this live lesson to watch some of the latest videos. We have some podcast episodes. We have some things that I think are really important, like the short stories. I think they're great. And I've been reading these short stories and also putting the text on screen, which has been really useful, I think, for people so they can enjoy it. And the other videos I've made have been around phrasal verbs, idioms as well. Tomorrow, there is a lesson that's going to be all about phrases to use in restaurants, but not just phrases to use in restaurants like a travel book, but mainly focusing on telling stories around restaurants so you can get really good listening practice. Good to see you again as well, Hotomove and something. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Click that like button as well. So just click that like button so more people can join. Been a while. It has been a while. Like I was saying before, I have made some videos recently about stories, about how to learn English. And at the moment, there are 3 lessons a week right now. And then also some shorts too. So what I'm going to do is see, it's strange, I can't pin comments anymore. In the past, you used to be able to pin a comment. You used to be able to make a comment from the person who was making the video. Hello from Maine. MN, is that Maine? From Iraq, Mohammed, good to see you. So let's start talking about ways to learn English, because I've also started to introduce these new flashcard lessons where you get sentences and you can listen and repeat to those sentences. So I released one of those on the present perfect a couple of weeks ago, and this week we're going to do conditionals. And I think this is the best way. Oh, Minnesota, MN, of course. I think this is one of the best ways that you can learn English, is through this listen and repeat, where what you're going to do is you're going to be able to read the sentence, okay? So you're going to be able to read it, you're going to listen to the sentence, and then you're going to repeat the sentence. And that way, you're getting really good practice, but you're also what we call internalizing the language. So instead of learning through grammar rules, although those can be important when you're trying to understand something, what you're doing is you're getting really good practice, really important practice. We have a comment here. I used to be in high school and used to learn English from you. Now I'm about to graduate university. How interesting. Yeah, the channel has been around for over 10 years now. The Fluency channel, over 10 years. Adeline says, thrilled to see you again. Fantastic, good to see you. And then Augustina's here. People are telling me their ages too. So yeah, the new lesson is going to be on conditionals, where we're going to look at the first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, and also 0 conditionals. And you're going to get 50 phrases, 50 sentences, so you can just listen and repeat to those sentences. And then we have all those sentences in the description too, which means that you'll be able to read those sentences as well. The other video we've got coming tomorrow is phrases on restaurants. And then on Friday, I think we're going to do something like collocations, okay? Get something done, collocations. So there's a lot of interesting stuff coming up on the channel. If you have any questions about learning English, please leave a question below or in the comment section. And then also just go to my channel and watch some of my long form videos. So any questions about learning English? Someone says British accent, so beauty, but I'm into American. Oh, but I'm into American. Yeah, some people prefer the American accent. Some people prefer the British one. I obviously, well, you don't know probably, but I live in the US and I'm used to the way people speak here. Emery says, is that a long journey to level up from B2 or C1 or something higher? Yeah, it is. It's really quite a journey to go from B2 to C1. Mainly because the difference is with C1 is you can understand and be able to talk about a variety of different topics. And it just means that you have to acquire a lot more vocabulary. However, going from B2 to C1 is easier in a way because you already have this level of English where you are able to understand a lot of things you hear. And in order to learn new things, it's important that you already know the level you have. So when you think about when you're first starting and you listen to a podcast in a new language, you don't understand anything. Everything sounds strange. But when you have a B2 level and you listen to a podcast about politics, let's say, then that makes a big difference because you can understand the words and phrases. So it does make a big difference. Give me a good plan for fluency in English, please. Yeah, so this is all about, my dog's sleeping over here. This is all about how to learn English, what you're asking about. And this is a complex topic because there's a lot that goes into this. However, if I'm going to give you 3 tips, okay. Tip number 1 is listen a lot and always be listening. So find resources that are perfect for your level. So if you have an elementary, a lower level of English, listen to things just above this level. If you have an intermediate level of English, listen to things just above this level. You can find graded readers, for example. You can listen to the stories on my channel. So I have some short stories that I've been creating recently. And always be listening as much as possible to get that input, that internalization. The next thing to do is to really focus on the way you speak and basically your pronunciation. So a lesson I released this week was on minimal pairs. For example, fan and van. Okay, berry, very. Where there are 2 sounds that sound similar, like the P and the B sound, like put, but, put, but. There's a slight difference in the way you do it. And by doing this, not only will you be able to say the words in English properly, but you'll be able to understand them better too. And then once you've done that, there's a bird building a nest. It's really pretty. Once you've done that, then the third step is to get lots and lots of sentences like the ones on my channel and listen to them and repeat them and get the right type of repetition. You can also do it in Anki as well, which is spaced repetition software. So those are the type of things you can do. Step 1 is to always be listening. Step 2, work on your pronunciation. And then step 3, listen and repeat to sentences. And then once you are doing that, then you'll have more conversations, you'll feel more confident, and you'll just enjoy things a lot more. So we have another question here for the people who are trying to improve their English by watching TV shows or something like that. What is the best way to study English with watching TV series? I'm taking notes, the words I don't know. Yeah, I found when I did this with Spanish, I made the most amount of progress. I improved my Spanish the most when I got the TV shows, found TV shows that I already knew, okay? So for example, when I was younger, I watched Friends a lot, the American TV show Friends. Then I found the Spanish version. Then I found the transcript. And then I listened and repeated what people were saying. So I understood the transcript first, then I listened to the transcript and repeated it. And that's when I made the most amount of progress in my Spanish. And the first stage is to find a TV show that is going to be good for you. For example, my friend, I say my friend, I haven't spoken to him in years, but someone I know, Ollie Richards, he made a video recently about the only 4 TV shows you need to watch to learn a language. So I'm going to share that video on my channel soon. So by listening to it, you can also do things like listen or watch the TV show, pause it, and repeat what they say. But understanding the language is important. And then go back, and then when you go back to watch it, the second episode, you'll understand a lot more. And then we had just surround yourself completely with English. That's the whole secret. Yeah, and a lot of people can't do this all the time because let's say you're working a job let's say you're an attorney in France. If you live in France and you're an attorney, you're going to be using French all the time. However, I always say people can generally speaking do more if they want to do more. So if you want to do more of it, then you can do more of it. Charlotte says, you can also improve your English by shadowing. Definitely. Shadowing is great as well. The one downside to shadowing, the one negative to this, is when you're shadowing, sometimes you can just, and you're not using the words in the right way. So that can happen when you shadow. However, I recommend getting audio, practicing the audio first by really focusing on the way you say it, and then shadow after that. Anki is so good. It is. Although I can read a lot, I can't improve my English, can't speak. That's so common. It's easier to read than it is to speak. It's simple. It's easier to read than it is to speak. Because reading is, you can try and, let's say there's a sentence that says, I'm always going there on time. I'm always going there on time. You can get the context of it sometimes from what you're reading. But in order to say this, you have to understand that sentence perfectly in order to say it. Adeline says, my English learning process has been on the back burner lately because I was focusing on my Spanish learning. Quite difficult to do both. It is. It is difficult to do both. You're right. Yeah, in that case, what you can do is learn Spanish through English. So if you know enough English to learn Spanish with, you can do both at the same time. Thank you for some kind comments. What's a good way for learning new words and vocabulary? I would say, again, like, get it from context. So let's just say it's one of my videos and it's the video I made recently on phrasal verbs with get. With those ones, you can enter those sentences that I give you into Anki and then memorize them that way. Memorize is a word I don't tend to use. It's more internalize. But when you do that and you get repetition with them, that's how you remember them over the long term. But first, it's important to understand the word and learn it before you try to memorize it. Because you want to memorize words and phrases by actually knowing them first. So that's a key point. That is a key point. So everybody, if you're enjoying this, just click the like button and also share it with a friend too. Let's see, what can I do on this? There's not a lot of options on here, but I can tag products to the live screen. I love your voice. Thank you so much. And a big thank you from Ukraine. Good to have you here. I listened to Harry Potter to learn English. Yeah, that's a tough one, I think. I've never read Harry Potter. I've never seen the movie either. And I don't have any interest in doing it. I'm not quite sure why. But what's interesting is with Harry Potter is that there is a lot of different types of words in there. Different types of phrases specific to Harry Potter. So you're learning, I can't remember all these words, but there are different words that are specific to Harry Potter, made up in that sense. However, you're still going to learn a lot of English as well when it comes to that. My level is upper intermediate. I have 6 months left to prepare for IELTS test. In your opinion, if I do practice every day, can I get band 7? I can't remember what band 7 was. I remember band 7 is quite high. The key to the IELTS test, from my experience and what I remember, is learn English normally. But then also, it's so important to get the practice papers. So the exam, if it's still like this, is always going to be quite similar. The reading type of part of it, the listening part of it too. So get as many past papers, past examples as you can in order to practice for this. And I had another question about the IELTS test as well. Yeah, so yeah, just get as many past papers as you can in order to practice for the IELTS exam. How to improve writing? Thank you. At the moment, I would say using something like ChatGPT is a fantastic way to practice writing. I think it is really helpful for that because you can set up prompts where you say, I would like to practice my writing. This is my level of English. Can you give me some writing tasks to do? And can you correct my writing afterwards? So what they're going to do is give you these prompts to say, write a simple paragraph about one of these things, okay? So you do that, and then it's going to correct your English for you. And a lot of the time you can do it for free as well. I enjoy your podcast. Thank you. One of your podcasts that I enjoy is online shopping versus local shopping. Yeah, I want to do more of those episodes. I like doing those episodes where I talk about things, but it also has words and phrases in it. So you can learn new words and phrases, but also it has lots of different just listening practice in a way that is specific for English learners. Where in the UK are you from? A place called Preston. I was watching your videos to learn English some years ago. Thanks for everything. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, there's been over like 35 million views on the channel, which is quite incredible. So it's really interesting to see that, and more videos are coming your way. Hello from Brazil. I think we need to talk through vocal cord to be able to the British accent. Do native speakers speak with advanced vocabulary all the time? Do they use advanced English everywhere? This is such a good question, because one of the things I talk about, and I see a lot of videos saying advanced English, like basic English, advanced English. But a lot of the time, people use just the same words and sentences, the same like everyday English. When it comes to advanced English, or what is talked about as advanced English, usually that's more around specific topics, formal situations, when you're having a debate with somebody, when you're using humor sometimes. But I always say, it's better to say, for example, how are you? In a way that is natural and sounds good and people can understand, versus an advanced way to ask somebody, how are you? Or I've got a video coming out soon, which is the different ways to say want. Okay. So instead of saying I want to go, you might say, I feel like going. And there are specific situations, and the meaning changes in a subtle way, in a small way sometimes. But when speaking, if you're trying to force advanced English, sometimes it sounds really unnatural. But it is good to know advanced English on the other hand, because then you can listen to the way people speak. Practice and discipline and consistency as well. It's the most important thing to remember. Yeah, if you are consistent with effective practice, then you're going to improve. So if you do things that are effective, then it's really important. Okay, thanks for your advice, and I would like to say I enjoy your podcasts, but I think if you make videos, special topics such as tech, AI, any daily conversation, that would help a lot. I've actually made 2 podcast episodes on technology, how to talk about technology, and AI as well. So take a look on my videos and see if you can find those. Now it's Monday in Japan. Happy Monday to you. When you live in the USA, your British sounds a little bit weird. It does, but people love the accent here. I mean, most sounds coming from the throat part to sound like British. Is it true? I don't think so. It depends. Some accents probably, like Liverpool comes from the throat, I imagine a little bit more. I always think Irish comes from back in the throat as well. Ireland, like everything seems to be at the back, whereas Scottish seems like it's at the front. Okay, I'm going to end this here. And so the thing to do now is to go look at my other videos. So I live in North Carolina, somebody's asking. So go back to my old videos, watch them, watch the podcast on tech, watch the podcast on AI, and keep learning English with me. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll speak to you all soon. Okay, bye for now.